All right, and welcome back to another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, March 17th, 2022. So markets in float mode here, essentially shutting the door on any thoughts of a fake breakout and now confirming above uh, these daily trend lines here. So this is kind of that falling wedge pattern that we've been following here on the spiders. We closed above that yesterday and the 20 moving average, and then getting follow through today after a micro kind of gap down. I've also added in this pink trend line here, and that one is connected all the way to the highs. So that one is pretty important to watch as well. Looks like we're going to get a close above that. It's about 30 minutes left in the trading day. Doing this video a little early today as the market is in kind of a melt up mode and not really a whole lot going on. You can see the volume pretty light here in the S&P. So it's looking to me like we're going to probably push up to 440, 441, somewhere in that area. Maybe even in the last half hour, they might just squeeze it up there. So that would be this double top here, 441.11. That's your red bar high. That was resistance before. And the market is a little overbought here. Now, we could, there's a possibility we could gap up into that 50 moving average tomorrow, but I would be willing to bet that tomorrow is a red day based on, okay, logically, right? You bagged all the puts the last 3 days. I mean, you bagged the puts. We know that. And now, you probably got a couple of giddy bulls like, oh, let me get on. And then, so now you can bag those calls too if you make the market sell off a little bit on Friday. There's also a straddle at the 440 expiration for tomorrow. So it would make sense maybe, if we gapped up, you get those FOMO call buyers in and then you sell it off and then you just, close it right on that straddle of 440. So that could be a likely scenario. We could definitely see that playing out tomorrow. And interestingly enough, now that we're pushing higher here, my near-term target is 445, just based on a, pretty standard calculation I do. And obviously that's, you can visually see that's resistance on the chart. The 200 moving average is basically right there. But, a few weeks ago, and really not even a few weeks ago, last week, and, for quite a while, I've been talking about the possibility for an ABC up. So you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legs down, and then A, B, C up. Well, I was really thinking that was going to happen here, and then that kind of fell off the tracks a little bit. But we reversed. We made higher lows here, higher low, and now it looks like we're going to complete that pattern. So, I've been talking about that. Typically, that's another reason why I've been kind of looking for a short-term bottom here in the market, is because the market doesn't just go down in a straight line, and it doesn't go up in a straight line forever either. There's got to be, there's balance here, and typically when you get a sell-off leg or a corrective leg, there's usually an ABC up at the bottom before you make another move lower. And so that's kind of what we're looking at here and looking for. Doesn't mean the market doesn't pull back for another day or two, maybe back test the breakout before, trying to test that 445 area. But, in the near term, that's kind of what we're looking for here. So maybe a red day tomorrow, and then at least that 445 target to be satisfied. And then we'll kind of just reevaluate things from there and see where we're at with things. The one thing I will say, though, if you clean this up here, and I said, well, I told the members when we started going short up here, I said 420 is going to be like the main area of support that we're looking for. At least that's kind of like the minimum downside, but it's going to be a big level, and part of the reason for that is because it's a 25% retrace. So right there in that 420 area, and I think over the last 2 months, the institutions have proven that 420 is max pain for them right now. So, here's your area of support. So I showed you the fib there, and then you can kind of see, roughly about this area here. That's your kind of support zone, right? There's your chop, there's your breakout. We came down here, what did they do? They defended 420. Low was 420.76. Then they came down here, we gapped down on fear. So when you have fear, you can overshoot levels a lot of the time. Gap down, and they defended 420. Came back, tried to break it below 420, and they defended it. So right now, max pain is 420. The institutions are telling us that with their actions here. So, could we come up, make lower highs, and then break it? It's possible, for sure. But right now, they've told us that this is a very important area, and then they care enough to defend it. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, let's flip over here. So got some continued strength here out of the Russell 2000. Again, potentially for, might have a bit of a WV pattern here. You're above that 50 moving average now, and into that 205 area. So you got the red bar high there. That's kind of where you started to break down. So that will be resistance. If you get through that, you can get up to 210. The only problem I have with the Russell right now is weekly, you're inside of this breakdown bar. So unless you close above this breakdown bar, this is still kind of bearish inside bar action. But, you know, in the meantime, the Russell's holding up, and it's outperformed. You know, we've been talking about that lately. It's outperformed the rest of the market since late January. So the Russell has been holding up okay. I just don't like that weekly. Diamond here. Getting close to that 50 moving average as well. Kind of coincides essentially with the 50 MA on the spider. So really kind of the same chart there overall. And then flipping over to the triple Qs, we're going into this red bar here. So that's going to be resistance. But hey, you got back above, you know, you broke through this falling wedge. And, you know, we'll look for confirmation tomorrow. You can maybe make a case that yesterday we broke out of it. Yeah, we did. So we can say today is a confirming day. And then obviously your 50 moving average is up sloping or down sloping up here around 350. And again, that red bar high there. So that should be good resistance if we were to get up there. But again, you know, it wouldn't surprise me to see a red day tomorrow, a little pullback before moving in that direction. But Q's having a decent day, up 70 basis points. Anyway, inside of tech, big tech here, Apple, continuing to follow through to the upside. Not a huge move here. It was kind of negative. Looked like a bit of a pause day for most of the day, but I love that reversal there, the fake out below the 200 and then 1-2 up into that 20 moving average there. Microsoft a little bit muted, kind of just having an inside day as well. Amazon having a big day, up 2.3. Huge move here on Amazon. This might want to get up into that 3250, 3300 area. So we're going to look for that to be a possibility. You do have some resistance here at this red bar high as well. So keep that in mind. Google hanging in there, but pay attention to this wedge. This is not broken out yet, but and that is that it does have that 50 moving average there as well. But you know, if you get through that, you know, you can get up to this necktie here, 200 and 100 moving average, but that's hanging in there for now. And Tesla possibly finally getting through this trend line here. Now we'd have to look for confirmation, but it is breaking out through that downsloping trend line, so that is a positive there for big tech and for the triple Qs. Also inside of tech, SMH here confirming above the falling wedge pattern. Again, I posted these charts the other day and I said, look, this is we're probably going to be we're very oversold. We're getting close to a bottom here. I'm seeing that falling wedge on the semis, seeing the falling wedge on IGV. Just confirms that. Although IGV's range is much wider, so it hasn't gotten above that wedge pattern yet, but it is having a nice day. But the semiconductors really, when you see something like this, it's talking to you. It's telling you the market wants to probably reverse. Anyways, outside of that, moving on here, Dow Transport's following through again. This may need to, you got a level here, a little consolidation. That's where you rolled over. And then you got this gap fill up here. So, maybe the transports need to flag up and do some consolidating first. But again, I got this going up to 17,000. I told you guys that was my level yesterday, and I expect that to get hit maybe over the next couple of weeks or so. All right, yields surprisingly still finish green here, gapped down and then rallied back up. 30-year as well, same kind of deal. Finishing green on the day, I still think these are a little overbought. And again, probably need to do some consolidating, but again, nothing really wrong with the charts, and I think they're poised to make a move higher, but we'll see if they get a pullback pattern or something similar. High yield here, so high yield, 3 bars up, nice 3-bar surge into the 20 moving average. Now it's going to be important to see how this reacts. Do we get a sharp reaction, or do we kind of flag up and just stall out? If we flag up and stall out, that's a huge positive for the market, because that could tell you that maybe high yield is starting to bottom out a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see what the market gives us tomorrow. Again, we could still pull back a little bit Friday, but do we make higher lows? Do we go down and retest the bottom? So those are things we're going to be looking at there on high yield debt. Home builders having a decent day here. I drew in this trend line yesterday. No chance to confirm above it today, but you could tomorrow if we have another green day above today's high. And VNQ getting above that trend line as well, but again, no chance to confirm today, but a nice little move there for the real estate sector. Broker dealers and fins here, so XLF. Again, this trend line just keeps coming into play, right? So that's looking like we got there's going to be an area here. You're kind of extended coming off the lows. You got these moving averages and that trend line. So again, may need to have a little reaction off of that. Broker dealer, same thing. 200 MA up there, red bar high. That's going to be a little bit resistance in the near term. I will say JPM does look a lot better again. Yesterday or excuse me, Tuesday, I said this does not look good if it can't get back out of this range. It did that yesterday, and today it looks like it's going to close above that 20 moving average. So shaping up a lot better. Still don't like this sell-off. I mean, these are ugly sell-offs here, but in the near term, it's showing a little bit of resiliency. Bank of America, same thing, into some resistance here. Same thing on Wells Fargo, into that necktie, little pullback there. And Morgan Stanley getting a nice bid here off the lows, but that is a pretty ugly sell-off as well. Maybe this can get back up to 97, but that's really all I can see here in the near term. XLE, getting us, kind of a dead cat bounce here off that 20 moving average. So if it, retraces about 50% of this move, you could probably see a move up to, 76, 77, somewhere in that range. But again, just kind of a technical bounce here. Same thing on the XOP. Nice little juice off the 20 moving average, and the OIH, same deal there. And obviously seeing the same pattern on crude. I wasn't sure yesterday because we kind of paused, right? So usually, when you go straight down after a parabolic move into support, you usually get a bounce immediately. But yesterday we didn't bounce. We kind of just put in this little doji candle, and I was like, oh, is it going to start flagging now? I thought it would have bounced yesterday if it was going to, but it didn't. It doesn't matter. We're getting the bounce today. They should get back up to about 110 or 112. I think I had penciled in. So we'll see what it does here, but nice little recovery there, up 9% there on spot crude. Nat gas also getting a bid here. So it has completed that. If we can get nat gas to come up. All right, there we go. There's nat gas. Up 4% today. So again, completing the series of higher lows. And again, it's probably going to try and make a run at this red bar high. Maybe it needs to do more backing and filling though, but really choppy, sloppy chart there for Natty. Dollar index. Having problems today. Here we go. Dollar index. Sorry about that. Into the 20 moving average, little sell off. Probably gets a bounce there, but again, sloppy pattern. It is into monthly chart resistance. So there we go. All that breakdown area right there. Actually, you can see it better on the weekly. So this breakdown area is here. You went parabolic, started to chop around, and then broke down. You're right into that. And you're pulling back off it pretty sharply. Again, I told you guys 99 was going to be the area. That's where it went to. Could it go a bit higher over the next couple of months? Yeah, if we have another leg down in the market, this probably will go higher. In fact, it definitely will. But, you got really extended from that 20 moving average there on the weekly. So, and you went up into resistance. So dollar had to, again, nothing goes up or down in a straight line. You guys know the drill. Anyways, gold here. Again, continuing to bounce here, but coming off the highs. So a little bit of weakness there in gold in the afternoon session, kind of fading a little bit here. GDX did get up to that 38 handle I said it was going to go to. Really disappointing. I didn't get filled on those calls on Tuesday morning, but is what it is there. And now pulling back off that 38 level. Silver also getting a bounce, but also coming off the highs here. Nothing too crazy going on here. Just looks like a technical bounce. And platinum and palladium looking kind of dead cat-ish here. So, again, a little bit of an outside day here on palladium, but that's a brutal sell-off. And, that's what commodities do, right? They get parabolic and then they come down hard as well. But, I don't like this close here on platinum from the other day. You just cut through this whole bull base here and they really didn't defend it much. So that's a pretty big beat down there on the precious metals anyway. And then copper continuing to bounce off that level I gave you guys Tuesday. So nice little pop there. Again, maybe this gets up to 4.75, maybe 4.8. Then it's probably going to stall out a bit. All right, coins here. Bitcoin, kind of an inside day, a little bit of pause. What I'm going to look for here is, can we make a higher high from this pivot here on March 9th? We're obviously watching this wedge pattern. You could make a case that you even have like a little one here too. That you potentially broke out of. So, we could confirm above that tonight or tomorrow if we get a bid. But Bitcoin holding up. And again, we've been watching this very closely as a leading indicator, and it's been very useful for us. It's been working out pretty well. Ether, on the other hand, actually already has made a higher high. So maybe that's a little bit of a heads up for us, but it is not through this wedge yet either. And we'll see what we get in here. Maybe we get a pullback and then a push up. Um, and maybe that coincides with something here on Bitcoin, a pullback and then up there. We'll see what happens. But the levels are pretty self-explanatory, especially continue to watch that green bar low. Any close below that would be very problematic. And of course, the weekly, we still have those kind of dual inside bars here. So this green bar is bullish, but then the red bar is bearish, which is more of a macro one. So we'll watch and see what happens. If we get through this wedge, I'll be the first to let you know if there is a breakout or breakdown. Anyways, let's wrap it up here, get back over to the spiders here. About 15 minutes left. Yeah, I mean, we're squeezing up here. So we'll probably get a move to 441. And then maybe they gap us up tomorrow and we kind of come back in. But for now, market in melt up mode and squeeze mode. And, again, that's just what happens when everybody gets loaded to the boat one side. The boat rocks the other way, essentially. All right, guys. Anyways, we'll wrap it up here. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.